going on, everybody, and welcome back. So in this one we're going to be working on the Accord some more. I've been on a streak here, really doing a lot of work on the Accord, which I'm happy about. It really needs it. I've been neglecting to work on this thing for a while now, but it needs my attention. There's a lot of things that needed fixing, things I've been putting off, and fixing stuff on the daily has made me want to fix more things on this to make the driving experience more pleasurable, you know? So hopefully I can show you in this video what I got for it, and then the install will be in a future video. I'm still keeping that a secret. Maybe some of you guys have some ideas of what it is. Go ahead and guess in the comments. But anyway, got the cluster done. It's put in. I didn't fix the dash crack. I'll fix that someday. I think it'll be fine. Hopefully it doesn't rattle too bad. It is what it is. I'm not really willing to fix that right now. I think it'll be better to do when the dash is out of the car. Anyway, I don't know if that was caused by me or the previous, but there was some damage caused by whoever decided to fake the airbag repair on this, which I did fix, by the way. So I brought my scan tool home. At least, hopefully I fixed it. I brought my scan tool home, and what I did was I scanned it. So I had a few codes in there. I had one for the driver's airbag open or high resistance is what it says. It's weird, my scan tool didn't really give me a code, it just gave me like a readout of what it is. So it said, I don't know if that's just how older airbag systems were, because a lot of GM stuff has specific codes that it'll give you out of the SDM. So this thing just reads the SRS module, I guess it's called, and gives you the code. So I had an open or high resistance on the driver's bag, which I know because it's not hooked up, you see. This totally is disconnected. So we're gonna have an open circuit here, that's obvious. So also on the passenger side, I had another code for the passenger side that said high resistance in the passenger airbag circuit. So it didn't say open, it said high resistance. So to me, you know, I have a bad connection somewhere. So it's either internal to the bag that there's a problem. The module looks for a specific resistance that it's gonna get from the circuitry and the bag itself. The inflator has a resistor in it, or it just measures a certain resistance. I couldn't tell you which, but it's looking for resistance. Say it's 4 ohms. And so if it sees 4 ohms, it knows it's all set. If it sees 6 or 8 or 10 ohms, it knows that there's resistance, whether it's in a connection in line or it's internal to the bag, and that means that a part has failed, and it uses that to monitor the system. So that's kind of how these airbag systems work. It's not rocket science, and it's not too crazy. You're not gonna detonate the bag. Everybody gets really scared about airbags, but you could set off an airbag with a 9-volt battery. Don't go poking around in there, and if you're nervous, disconnect the battery and wait for a while for the system to power down. But you don't need, you know, it still could be triggered. They say by static electricity. You know, I've never seen it. And a lot of these airbags actually have shorting bars, where when you disconnect it, there's some sort of bar that shorts the two together so it can't be triggered. So there's a lot of safety mechanisms in place. What I can recommend you don't do is unbolt a crash sensor and let that fall on the ground, because I've heard some stories about that setting off the airbags in the car. Anyway, otherwise, you're pretty good. So anyway, I disconnected the passenger airbag, and then I went to an open or high resistance. So I know that everything there is functioning in the SRS module. So then I basically shorted the two wires together. And with the wires shorted together, the code went away. It didn't give me a code. Those codes went to history. I had no current code for the passenger airbag. I don't know if it saw the resistance similar to the bag, or if it doesn't really look for a short, there's no code for it. I'm not really sure. But when I shorted it, it went away. And so then I knew that the wiring was good. So basically then I used a little bit of dielectric grease here, a little dielectric lubricant. Totally bought that. But yeah, use that stuff right there. Works like a champ. And I cycled the connector. So basically plugged it, unplugged it many times, and maybe 10 to 20, probably at least 20 times I cycled the connector just to get the pins to scrape against each other. Over time, connections can get poor. They have what's called terminal fretting, where I'm not sure what starts it, but there's small arcing going on in between, and it can essentially get like a carboned up surface that doesn't really conduct electricity well, and you'll have resistance in the circuit in those pins. So I know this is a lot of talking. Maybe some of you guys are interested, maybe some of you are not, but this is electrical. I love electrical. That's what everything is nowadays. So I know it because of work. And so it bleeds into everything, you know, everything is electronics. So it's cool to know this stuff if you're interested. Just, I guess, hardcore monologuing, knowledge dropping, whatever. But anyway, terminal threading. So if you clean, they have terminal cleaner kits and yada yada, but these weren't even that bad. So I just cycled the connector, dielectric greased it right at the airbag. Only messed with one connector at a time. And I think in doing that, you know if you've fixed it or if you haven't. So the code went to history when I plugged it in. So I think I fixed it. If it ends up being intermittent, at least I have an airbag light now. I assume that's what it was. It was probably an intermittent airbag light that they didn't know how to fix. So somebody took the bulb out to fix it. Would the bag have gone off? Possibly. A lot of times they'll still go off, even though there's an intermittent airbag light. Doesn't mean that bag will not deploy. So still good to get it fixed. I want it fixed, so we'll try to do that. If there's still a problem, I'll cut the wires and solder them, no connectors, and then it'll be fixed. The bag will definitely deploy then. We'll worry about if I have to replace the bag, if there's anything salvageable with the car. So anyway, that's that. Airbags are good. I'm gonna try to keep them. So that's my spiel on the airbag thing. So that's fixed. I'll show you something else that is fixed as well, is this climate controls. So this is fixed, guys. Look, I turn it, and I could turn it before, but it wasn't doing anything. But now it's turning. I'm actually turning the cable. The cable is spinning. So I don't know if you can see this guy right here. And when I spin this dial, that guy's spinning on the gear. So I'm gonna add some fresh grease to that, just to make it work a little bit better. But this thing is doing its full actuation and moving back and forth. So I just got to get to the underside to show you guys what I actually did. So if you look at the underside right here, you get a pretty good view of this clip. So I found these clips. I'll show you what one of them looks like. But essentially it holds a sheet metal screw, and the sheet metal screw threads, it's like a machine screw thread. It is the same threads that go into the plastic. So it ended up working out perfectly where I screwed that in there into the plastic, and it's just pinching that line perfectly, and it holds it down while the other arm can move it inside the outer sheath. So that little piece worked out really well. I don't know that everybody's going to have one of those, but if you go to the junkyard, I'm sure you could find the actual part. But I just wanted to make something work in a pinch, and it ended up just being perfect. Who knows if it's better than OE? I really don't know, but it holds it. That's all I care about. So I'm going to move on with that. I'm going to put this thing back in, and we're ready to see how everything looks all reinstalled. So yeah, I'm going to get started on that, and I'll show you guys what it looks like with the new wheel on. I'm excited to get this thing back together. Well, I got it all back together, only to find out that one of my overhead light bulbs is not working. There's supposed to be 2 bulbs up top. I'll show you guys. Let me turn this on. It's supposed to be 2 bulbs. If you can tell, the left side is lit better than the right side because the bulb's out. It's very tragic. But if you look up here, the left side's lit. The right side's out, which sucks. Should have checked that before I finished putting it all back together. But I guess live and learn, or never learn. Should be my motto. Never learn. It's never gonna be right. You always gotta check. So, yep. Guess who's pulling the cluster back out? Because that kind of bugs me. Because I was just in here. It's fresh in my mind how to do it. I'm gonna yank the cluster back out. All I gotta do is I think pull this one out, pull that screw, these 2 top ones, and maybe take this panel off, and I should be able to pull it out enough, or I'm hoping I can cheat it, just stick my fingers in there. So yeah, round 2, taking the cluster out. Hopefully I don't have to pull the wheel back off, because I did get the wheel on. Which looks nice. Not all beat up anymore. I'm excited. Sweet. So, round 2, let's do it. So I believe I fixed it. It is dark right now. Look at that. I got lights on both sides. It lights up really good. If you guys can see it on camera. So if it's well lit like that at night, then I don't think I'll have any problem seeing it. Obviously I can dim it down. The lights are still on. Camera's still picking it up pretty good. This camera does really good in low light, but yeah, they look really good. Still very visible at night. So I shouldn't have any problem seeing them. So yeah, I'm stoked, guys. You know, the temp gauge and the fuel gauge are a little bit dimly lit in the bottom, but not too worried about it. I could still see them for the small amount of time driving at night. It's not like you got to stare at the gauges like that. The important gauges are over here on the pillar, which you know, keys got to be on for those. But yeah, guys, that's awesome. So I'll move on to the next phase here, and the climate controls works, and you can see those backlights still work too. So we're doing pretty good. Everything's working now. I'm excited. All right, guys. So I got one last little thing to show you. I obviously showed it to you at night, all dark. I think I'll show you guys with. I got a flashlight going on over here, but just how, you know, how you're gonna see it when it's lit up and without it. The cluster is really nice, guys. It's super clear. The polishing job that I did came out really nice. I mean, everything is just crystal clear now. You can't even tell that there's glass there, and that's how it should be. So it looked really nasty before, so I'm excited about that alone. Plus the white gauges look sweet, and yeah, just overall refreshed this thing a lot. And the new steering wheel is gonna feel great in my hands, not all gnarly. And this isn't worn off, and both of my stocks have all the stuff. I mean, it's really got new life in this interior, guys. I mean, I'm making a big deal out of it, but it is a big deal to me. These are things that have bugged me since I own the car, so kind of cool to get it all working. And not to mention this guy right here has not worked since I got the car, and it's like working like factory right now, so that's awesome. I can go hot to cold in here. That's never happened before, so that's sick. So just that alone makes me happy. And the gauges, and hopefully the airbags are gonna work. Crazy, crazy. But now I got something that's even better than all of these things combined, and it's really gonna make this thing feel like a totally different car. And that's these guys over here. Check it out, guys. Look at these. So these are Amazon special. Opted to not go for the super expensive seats that I was looking at, because it's just like, I think it's fine. It's a seat, you know, I think it'll be fine. I was worried about safety and things like that, but you know, I'm rocking in some 27-year-old seats that really are, I'm sure they're great, you know, they're OE Honda seats and everything, but like, who's to say these seats can't do the same job? They feel pretty sturdy. I'm sure it's no big deal. I think honestly it keeps you really held in, and yeah, I just feel like, you know, they're gonna look so good in here, and it really transforms this car into something more than just like a stock interior, because it still looks so stock in there, and I think this is really gonna set it off. So I'm really excited to put these in there, and I want to try to match the gray and the black, you know, with the accents in the vehicle. I think someday I'll do all the panels over, I'll reupholster all the stuff, you know, and I can match this type of leather. I think it'll look really cool, but just gotta wait for that. You know, I got plenty of other stuff to do. So for right now, these seats are gonna go in there, but I just want to show you guys these seats. They came in. I'm going on a vacay, so I won't be back for a week or more, and then I'll be putting these in. So to come soon, if you guys are interested. I'm super pumped. I'm gonna see how I fit these in here. I'm gonna try to modify the stock seat brackets to fit the sliders that come on the bottom of these guys. But if you want to see more about them, you're gonna have to watch the next video, because that's where this will be. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and all the little stuff that went along with it. Like I said, it's all the little things that make a car nice, and so when you have a bunch of little things that you fix, I feel like overall it's just gonna make for a better driving vehicle, something that's more pleasurable to drive, and that's what we're looking for. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the racing seat installation that's coming soon, and hopefully we can get some tints on this thing this year. And I got a lot of big plans. Hopefully we can achieve them. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you liked it, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Peace.